If your American dream is bigger than it's supposed to be, listen up. This is for the all-nighters and the way too early bus riders. The ones paying homage to the past by hustling like there's no tomorrow. Los hijos de inmigrantes who become the bridge between la luna y el sol. This is where you shatter stereotypes and glass ceilings, where you honor abuelita's name and your parents' struggle. How their hearts smile at the sight of your success. You, the link that breaks generational chains. You, their heirloom, their legacy in motion. Confirmation que todo tendrá prosperidad. A promise to be more, hacer more, vivir more. So when they ask you where you're going, tell them in a voice that echoes back across borders and oceans that you will go as far as you choose to.
Snap, snap, snap. Give it up for that wonderful piece by Melania Luisa Martes in New York. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, parents. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the McDonald's Hacer Education Tour Workshop for parents. We are so glad that you're here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving your time. And wait a minute, who am I? Who is this woman that just came right on the screen talking and running her mouth? My name is Natasha Carrizosa. I am your MC host for the evening. You can just call me Natty. Natty, what do we have planned? Well, parents, this is our time. What we have planned for tonight is to encourage you to play an active role, a superstar role in the journey to your students, children's journey for higher education. We want to provide financial aid, resources, and of course give you everything I said. Scholarship. Now that I'm calming down, now that my heartbeat is also, this is what I need you to do when you get a chance, but make it fast, because we have some prize giveaways this evening. You have a chance to win one of 25 $25 McDonald's Arch cards, and there is going to be a grand prize of a $500 gift card. And that lucky grand prize winner is not going to get this bag, but something like it, their own exclusive McDonald's merch bag with those gift cards. You can buy yourself lunch, you can buy school supplies, but you got to enter to win for your chance to win. How do you do that, Natty? You take your phone, you see that little QR code? Put your phone up to that QR code. It's going to send you to a link. You fill out the information, or you could text I said more to 866-213-5881. No purchase necessary to enter to win. Just make sure you hit that QR code or text I said more to 866-213-5881. We want you to engage with us in the chat. We're going to just talk. We're going to enjoy ourselves. You're going to get all of this information. Feel free to use your phone, post on social media, hashtag I said more. We got a great speaker lined up for you tonight. On behalf of McDonald's and Cool Speak, we thank you for being here. Parents, it's our time. I got somebody special for you. I have somebody special for you, a creative force and CEO of Cool Speak. Y'all in the virtual world, give me some snaps and y'all give it up for Carlos Ojeda Jr.
What's up, y'all? Thank you, Natty. Thank you. West Coast, we got Arizona in the house. We got New York City in the house. Oh, forget the West Coast. We going all across the country. Parents, this is just for you, for no one else. We're excited to have you here. My name is Carlos Alberto Ojeda Torres Rivera de Jesus Jr., but you don't got to worry about that. You can call me Chu, because that's what my friends and family call me. And I got to be honest. I'm humbled by Natty's introduction, but I got to be honest. I was a complete knucklehead when I was a kid. I drove my mom and dad crazy, right? Like absolutely crazy. Because when I was a kid, I didn't learn the meaning of words, like the word no, right? I never learned what the meaning of no was. When people tell me no, I say yes. Cuando me dice que no, yo digo que sí. My mom's like, don't touch that, no toque eso. What I do? Lo toque. No put that, no te pongas en la boca. Don't put that in the mouth. Where did it go? In the boca. No vaya para allá. No te vayas para la calle. Don't go in the streets. Where do you think I was? I was in them streets, man. I ran them streets. Look at me. You know you like the black chucks and the black socks. Yeah, I was living the life. You can imagine how hard it was when I got to school. I got in trouble all the time. In-school suspension, out-of-school suspension, detention, cualquier mention, I was always there. Always got in trouble. Got to the point they wanted to bring my mom or my dad to come to school, and I didn't want either of them to come because both my parents were crazy, right? I had one of those, my mom was that little militant Puerto Rican mom, you know, the one that if you didn't do what she told you to do, ella te mata, she kills you. Don't laugh, she had a semi-automatic chancla. She was gangster. And my dad was the opposite. My dad was this tall, diesel, evil-looking, dark-skinned Puerto Rican man, so ugly he deserved to be on America Pompuane. I didn't want any of them to come to school. But they sat there and they rock, paper, scissors, and my dad came. And I knew I was going to die, but I figured my dad wasn't going to do it in front of the teachers. So they gave him my file. My dad looked at it, looked at me, started to turn red. My father's a dark-skinned Puerto Rican man. He's not supposed to turn red. And in this moment, he's not saying anything, which is freaking me out because the way my dad communicates with me is by yelling, throw out the trash, where's the remote? Even when he tries to communicate emotions, I love you. That's the way he talks. And out of my father's mouth comes the most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my life. As he looked at my vice principal and he said, can I have a moment alone with my son? And I looked at the vice principal and said, you can't leave me here with him. He's going to kill me. But the principal was like, man, you're on your own, kid. And he left me there with my dad. And my dad was yelling and screaming. And I thought my father was going to kill me. And he looked at me and then he suddenly said, tu abuela, your grandmother, she came from Puerto Rico. She spoke no English. She came with my 6 brothers and sisters chasing the American dream, going up and down the East Coast, wherever she could find work. She'd work 13, 14-hour days. She would come home and her hands would be bloody. Her feet would be swollen. Her clothes would be ripped and dirty. And the very next day, she'd do it again. And when my father abandoned us, have you ever wondered why you don't know your grandfather's name? That coward's name will never be mentioned in this house. I was a boy doing a man's job. I worked those fields with my mother. I worked in a factory my whole life for you and your 2 sisters. Tú eres mi único hijo. You're my only son. I love you. And I was like, oh, Daddy loves me. Oh my God, my mascara. But it wasn't that easy. He looked at me and said, I got 2 options for you. You can stay in school and live, or you can drop out and die. But it wasn't that easy. I stayed in school. But it was hard. My 10th grade geometry teacher called me the greatest piece of garbage she'd ever seen in his life. I was told by another teacher that I would never amount to anything. I was told by another teacher that I would either die or drop out, but I would never, ever hold a diploma in this hand. Parents, you've got to make sure that your voice is louder than all of the hate that your students will run into, that your children will engage, that your children that's out there. There are tons of people that will try to bring your kids down. You have to make sure that your love and your support is stronger and louder than any of them. So my dad said stay in school, and I did, in spite of those teachers. And by the time I was in 12th grade, I wasn't doing anything until one day a beautiful girl walked by, and I had a crush on her. And she went into the guidance office, and I walked in. I followed her. I went looking for some guidance. And when I walked in there was this crazy Puerto Rican lady just standing there watching me. And when I got the phone number and I was about to leave, that crazy Puerto Rican lady, she just jumped right in front of me and said, you're going to go to college. And I very respectfully, very politely responded to her. Are you crazy? Do you even know who I am? I'm not the kind of person to go to school. She's like, don't worry about that. And this lady wouldn't quit. Everywhere I went, she was there. Everything I was doing, she was there. She called my mom at home, spoke to her in Spanish, called my dad at work, talked to him in English. She started talking about college this and college that. She was relentless. She was stalking me. I was like, yo, I got to call the cops. What's the number for 911? Because this lady was crazy. But you know what? She was awesome because she believed in me. She told me that I wasn't garbage. She told me that I could go to school. She was supporting my family. And you know what? My mom and dad, even though they didn't know what college was or understood the specifics of things, they did what they could. They supported me as much as they could. And this lady, she wouldn't quit. And then she invited me to come visit her school, free day out of school, all I can eat lunch buffet. We went 4 hours into the middle of nowhere. I saw more trees than I've ever seen before in my life. Rabbits, chipmunks, deer. I thought I was in Bambi Part 2, Puerto Rican in the woods. And we took a tour of the campus, and it was everything that you would imagine a college to be. Clock tower, with the bells going off at the top of the hour. People walking around happy, beautiful, friendly. I felt hope. And she took us into a room where they started talking about the university. We're going to do a presentation, and I sat in the back listening to my music, and the lady walked up to me. She's like, do you want to come to school here? I go, definitely. She's like, well, you need to take the SATs. Now, what I didn't know then and I know now is this. I'm deaf. I have to wear 4 hearing aids. I only have 5% of my hearing. I wear 4 hearing aids connected to each other, connected to my phones so that I can hear. Without them, I cannot hear, which is great when your wife is yelling at you. I'm like, sorry, baby, I got technical difficulties. You're going to have to come back later. But it's not cool when I'm a kid. And everybody wants to live with me a problem, behavior problem, attitude problem, this problem, that problem, every problem they could come up with except for the one that I had, a hearing problem. I went undiagnosed until I was 23 years old. I stopped raising my hands in class because every time I made the teacher repeat herself over and over and over again, it made me feel stupid. 23 years old. How does that happen? They labeled me. They labeled me shy. But that lady didn't care. She just wanted to support me. She wanted to believe in me. She had my mom and dad believing in me. And between the 3 of them, they wouldn't quit. They wouldn't let me quit. Even in the moments that I wanted to. That lady, she looked at me. She's like, you need to take the SATs. I didn't even hear the T. All I heard was S-A. I was like, I ain't writing no damn essay. She's like, don't worry about that. You're going to go to college, and you're dumb, but we're going to fix you. That lady filled out the application with me for the SATs. Helped me get a waiver for it. I was told that I was garbage, and I would never amount to anything, that I could either die or drop out, but I would never hold a diploma in this hand. But the first time I took the SATs, I scored an 1,100 out of 1,600. I was 500 points away from a perfect score. That meant that I could go to college. That meant that I could get scholarships. That it meant that I wasn't garbage. It meant that I was the hopes and dreams of my family, just like each and every one of your children is the hopes and dreams of yours. That lady made me fill out applications to every school imaginable. She came to my house months later. I pulled out all the letters of acceptance because I got accepted to every school I applied to. And she looked at me. She's like, where do you want to go to school? I said, I want to go to your school. She's like, why? I said, because you believe in me, so it's my turn to believe in you. She pulled out a piece of paper. When I read what it said, I started to cry. Full tuition scholarship to her school. And on graduation night, I was wearing a cap and gown. And when they called my name, Carlos Ojeda Jr., I jumped on that stage like I owned the place. And as I got closer and closer to the podium where they were giving out the diplomas, I started thinking about that teacher. The one that told me that I would either die or drop out, but I would never hold a diploma in this hand. You know what? She was absolutely right. Because I'm left-handed and I grabbed it with this hand. And the moment I grabbed that diploma, my family started screaming my name. And I ran into the audience looking for my family. And it was so crowded, I couldn't find them. Until finally the crowd parted and I saw something I had never seen before in my life. My dad was crying. Before I could say anything, he gripped me up almost violently, like he didn't know how to hug somebody. And my mom took a picture of it because she said this was the moment that changed our family forever. My dad grabbed the back of my head and put our foreheads together, saw our eyes with me. He said, tú eres mi hijo, el hijo de Carlos Ojeda. And you could be whatever you want to be, go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do, as long as you choose to. No dejes, don't let them put you in a corner. No dejes, don't let them take your voice, mijo, tu voz es tu poder, your voice is your power. And then he said one word, vete. And that was the moment. With my mother crying and hugging me, my dad hugging me, crying. That was the moment I realized I wanted to go to school. That was the moment that I realized that my family had always done so much more for me than I even knew. That they were sacrificing everything. That was the moment I wanted to go to college, but there was a problem. See, there's a deposit that you have to submit. When you get accepted to go to the university, when you get a scholarship, that's great, but you have to submit an ARD, is what they called it, a deposit, in order to hold your spot. And I never sent it. Because even though my family believed in me, I didn't believe in myself. So on Monday morning, I called the lady. I was literally in tears going, Miss, por favor, tell me I didn't screw this up. Tell me I still can go to college. Tell me that I can do this. And the lady, she started laughing. And I was like, yo, miss, you cold. And she's like, I'm laughing because your father sent the deposit months ago. $200. That was so much money for our family. We were working class poor. I didn't even know where they got the money, but I was so happy that I didn't care. I just was jumping up and down because I knew that I was going to college. My mom and dad sacrificed everything. They worked every day of their life, overtime, double time, triple time, all the time, until there was no more time. 13 years ago, my father died at work, sacrificing for our family. And after his death, my mother and I started having these lunches where we would get together and we would talk. And one day we got to the point where we started talking about what happened and how my dad got the money. And I asked her, I said, Mommy, how did Dad get the money? It was so expensive. She's like, ever since you were born, your father would take coins and he made a little cancilla with those big water bottles and water jugs, and he would put the coins in there. He said, because he said that, you were going to need this, and he would just save any money. So if you came to my house and you sat on our couch and change came out of your pocket, that change was gone. He would take it, put it in. And when it got too much, he would take it to the credit union. He would deposit the money. He said, because one day, Chuchu will need this. I never got to thank my father. I never got to thank him for everything he did. Every sacrifice he made. And I know that he looks down upon me. And I know that he's proud of me. But since I didn't get to thank him then, I will thank you now. Because parents, after working all day, you're here online with us, talking to us. So on behalf of your children, in moments where they might not have the wherewithal to thank you, I will thank you. I will thank you for everything you do, the sacrifices you make. I thank you for Hacer more. Because my father and my mother, they Hacer more for me. And because of that day, when we were hugging and crying, I took that scholarship. I became the first person in my family's history to go to college, went to Bloomsburg University, got a business science degree with a focus in human resources, a minor in marketing, a minor in law. Became the first person in my family's history to graduate from college. Got a job that paid me more per hour than my mom and dad ever got paid in their lives. Got my master's by 23. By 25, I was the youngest and only Latino professor in the history of my college's university, College of Business. Left there to become director of a Latino Business Resource Center, helped start businesses in my community. Left there to become a full-time motivational speaker. I started my first business at 25, second at 27, started a third at 30. A couple of years ago with my business partner, Ernesto, we started Cool Speak, the youth engagement company. We are now a multi-million-dollar company, traveling the country, inspiring mothers, fathers, kids, teachers to do more, to live more, to Hacer more. We get to partner with amazing organizations like McDonald's Hacer, and we get to tell people about this amazing scholarship. That's why we're here. We're here to thank you for everything you do and to give you the tools and resources you need to help your kids, to be there for them, to Hacer more for them. All right, and we're also asking you to be part of the motivation, part of the inspiration. We're asking you to post on social media and use the hashtag #HacerMore. Yes, you get a chance to win a scholarship, to win some prizes if you text. But if you post on social media, show us a picture of your kids. Tell us why you're so proud. Tell us why you Hacer more for them. Be part of the movement. And now let's get to the scholarship, which is the reason why we're here. The Hacer Scholarship is funded by owner-operators, Latino, Hispanic owner-operators. And one of the greatest things about working with this organization and traveling the country and speaking has been meeting the owner-operators that fund this. People that are like my mom and dad, humble people with humble beginnings that made themselves a success. And the one thing that they want to do is give back that success. They're giving out $500,000 in 30 students. $500,000 in scholarships for 30 students. It started October 5th, so if you have a senior, now's the time. You can start filling out the application right now. The deadline for it is February 3rd, 2021. And everything you need, the eligibility and the actual application, you can find at mcdonalds.com/hacer. All right. So you're probably wondering, well, what's the breakdown for this? Well, it's simple. We get two $100,000 scholarships, two $50,000, two $25,000, two $20,000, two $10,000, and $25,000 scholarships. So we do a really good job of spreading the information, spreading the cash around. There's a good amount of money. And I know you're probably thinking, well, that's a lot of money. It's probably really difficult. The owner-operators have really strived, at McDonald's have really strived to make this inclusive and accessible to students. So here's the breakdown. In order to qualify for the scholarship, you need to be a high school senior, a 2.8 GPA, younger than 21 years of age, a U.S. resident, eligible to attend a 2 or 4 year college and university or technical school. And you got to make sure that you're going to have evidence, because the funds will go directly to the school that your student will be attending. So there needs to be proof of their ability to attend that. And you need at least one parent of Hispanic heritage. That's it. Very simple. Not that difficult. You know, is it a challenge? Yes, but it's one that our students can definitely overcome. These requirements make this scholarship accessible for your students. I want to give you some other resources before we head out. The resources, if you want anything and all the information for the McDonald's Hacer Scholarship, you can find at mcdonalds.com/hacer. But additionally, the FAFSA, if you're a senior, if you have a student who's a senior, the FAFSA is very important. Federal application for federal student aid, all right? It is important that you fill that out now. It operates on a first come, first served basis. So the time is now to start filling that application if your student is a senior. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund is a wonderful clearinghouse of Latino scholarships from across the country. Also has tons of resources to help parents like you help your students through this journey. We also have Big Future. Big Future at the College Board. My son, who is 16, just started using this, filled out the profile. The really cool thing about the College Board is that once you fill out the profile, it starts finding universities that fit your students' criteria, the schools that they want to go to, and gives them a list of schools that they should look at and possibly apply. CAPEX, similar to Big Future, it's the same. You fill out a profile, it starts giving you all the universities that fit your child, and it also gives you a full listing of scholarships from all over the country that your student would be eligible for. All right? It is a one-stop shop for your college journey. We also have CoolSpeak, my company, our company. We say it's everybody's company, all right? CoolSpeak has tons of resources that we have found along the way. Most of these resources will be there, as well as others that we have found along the way that we feel are beneficial to you and your students. Free SAT prep programming, all virtual, all available for you. A couple more scholarships that I wanted to share. The Thurgood Marshall College Fund, McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Scholarship for our African American brothers and sisters, and for our Asian and Pacific Islander brothers and sisters, we have the McDonald's Appia Scholarship. You can find them at those web addresses. Finally, we have the Archway to Opportunity. If you or your child works at McDonald's, there is already a wealth of opportunity and support for your students. Archway to Opportunity gives support and assistance from everything from ESL to getting that GED, and yes, college support and tuition support for your student. So you definitely want to go check out Archways to Opportunity. These are some of the resources. Look, I know it's a lot. It's like, wow, this is a lot of information. Yes, nobody said it's going to be easy, but it's worth it. And if we've made all these sacrifices as parents, now I am a parent, and we make all these sacrifices, this is just one more on the list. This is just we're trying to give you the tools and resources as a thank you to you for everything you do, but also the tools and resources you need to ascend more for your children. Natty, what do you think? With all these amazing resources that we just gave them, you think these parents are really going to be able to make a solid impact in their children's lives?
Chew, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for your tireless efforts. Thank you for that amazing story. Thank you for all of the resources. Parents, 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 thank you again for being here. Tell Chew what you thought in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Engage with us in the chat. We want to see you later on after the session. We have a Q&A. But I have to remind you, this is important. No purchase necessary. You don't have to buy anything. Just hit the QR code. Text I said more to 866-213-5881 because you will have a chance to win one of 25 McDonald's $25 McDonald's Arts cards to be given away at the end of this workshop. And also one lucky winner is going to win the grand prize of $500 in a gift card. And the grand prize winner gets a McDonald's merch swag bag. You have to enter to win for your chance. You have to enter to win for your chance. That's right. I got it. Thank you, parents. Hit that QR code. Text I said more to 866-213-5881. Now, parents, this is going to be hard to believe, but I am a parent. I am a parent of a how old is she? I'm a bad parent because I can't even remember how old my kids are. 25 years old, 15 years old, 7 years old. Cooking, cleaning, homework. I'm 45 in the second grade. This virtual world is just like, ugh. My 15-year-old is on Instagram and I'm trying to engage. Ugh. My 25-year-old calls me 5 times a day. I'm trying to engage. Ugh. And I call Chew all of the time. I text Chew all of the time and we share our stories. And if anybody can give you tips on how to hacer more, to keep your young people, your kids, your scholars engaged, it would be Chew. Chew, do you have any tips to share with these parents, all of us's, how to keep these young folks engaged?
Yes, I do, Natty. And we talk all the time because you know what? This pandemic, it's hard. We've had to, so much things have changed, not just for us, but for our children. And we've had to learn so much on the fly. It's difficult. I've got 3 kids. I've got a 16-year-old junior. I've got a 11-year-old 6th grader, first time in middle school, in a brand new school. And I have a little 7-year-old who's in first grade. And like you feel about second grade, I will tell you, first grade stinks the second time around. It is not easy. And I get it. And I'm sure that there are moments when you feel that your best effort is not good enough. There are moments that you feel that you are failing your child. If you are thinking and feeling that, if you are there day in and day out supporting them, there is no way that you're failing your child. That's it. You're there. You're supporting them. You're trying hard. You are doing the very best that you can. So take the pressure off of yourself. Be the best parent you can be. And you can't fail if you don't quit. And just keep trucking along. And here I can offer you some humble tips that have helped me and my family persevere through these trying times. And the first one, talk with your kids. Talk to them. And I'm not talking about what are you doing, sit down. No, I'm talking about meaningful conversations with your kids. Ask them how they're doing. Ask them how they feel. Ask them how they feel about online learning. Ask them if they miss their friends. Ask them about their hopes and dreams. Ask them, just talk to them. I will say that last year I spent well over 200 days on the road. And this year, I've been at home because of the pandemic. And I will tell you, it has been a secret blessing because I have had the opportunity to have some of the most meaningful, powerful conversations with my children to get to know them. And that has made all the difference. It has allowed me to be a better parent, to understand where they're at, what their mindset are, and how I can support them. Those quiet conversations with your kids mean everything. And we fight for them. We all phones off. We eat dinner together. We talk. We play a board game. We talk. We play video games. Okay, but we're going to talk. Talk, talk, talk. Connect with them. You are the only ones that they've got, and they are what you have. So work together and talk. Set up a regular study schedule. We run like literally like a well-oiled machine. I'm on a schedule. They're on a schedule. We run a really tight ship. I get up at 4 in the morning to start doing some work, get a little workout in, get ready. By 7 o'clock, I'm ready to. My wife gets up and we both start working to get the kids ready to school. She goes off to work, and then I'm there with my students working. We have a set schedule for homework, football practice, reading time. We have a set schedule. Those routines, those powerful routines make all the difference in the world. All right. We have to work that way. And we tend to do the work at the same time, model the behavior. One of the best things that I do, and I missed it tonight because we're doing a late one for the East Coast, for the West Coast, right? So East Coast right now, it's about 11 o'clock, and my daughter's asleep. But every single night, except tonight, me and my daughter will sit down, we will read. I will read to her and she will read to me. We will read together. We do that with the kids. We do the work together. When it's homework time, I bring up my laptop and I start doing my work around them. So I'm there to support them, but I'm also showing them how to go about doing. I model the behavior. Create healthy habits and routines, which is key. We have literally kind of changed the way we work. Everybody have their chores, and you have to get them done. If you don't, they know that the chain reaction that it'll be. Because 40% of what we do is habits. Everything we do from the moment we wake up, how we get dressed, and the things that we do, and how we eat, everything is about habits. So you can change that, and make them positive. And the habits that you build right now, they're going to have a serious impact when this is over. Because you know what? This too shall pass. So why not take the time to build a stronger, better family, building healthy habits and routines? We cook every single night. No more junk food. We cook every night. We have maybe 1 to 2 nights where we might order out, right? Or we might make something kind of like make a pizza at home, but we cook from scratch, something that we decided to do. We build healthy habits. These two aren't on here, but they're important. Number one, spend the time to give your children the time they deserve. Not the time that you need to give them, but the time to deserve. You'll never get these moments back. And right now, with all the social isolation, our children need their mental well-being, everything they need from us. The most important is our time to be there with them, to laugh, to goof off. Right before I got on, right, to do these McDonald's thing, I ran upstairs and I spent 30 minutes playing Trouble with them, that old school game, right? Yeah, I won because I always win, but it was about spending the time with them. And the last thing is support their dreams. No matter how crazy and outlandish they are, you got to prevent the dad or the mom in you to say, no, be more realistic. They're kids. Let them dream. There's plenty of things in this world, plenty of people in this world that will try to squash their dreams. Your job is not to do that. You're a dream maker. Your job is to support them, to prepare them for the world, to support and show your love for those dreams, no matter how crazy they will be. Like, I don't know, becoming a youth motivational speaker, starting your own company, traveling all over the country, working with McDonald's to talk about a $500,000 scholarship. Kind of crazy, but my family supported my dreams, and that's why I'm here. So support your kids, be the dream maker for them, and be there, and have patience, and forgive yourself, and love your kids. Be there. That's how you ascend more during these tough times. What do you think, Nani? You think those are a few nuggets that can help these parents maneuver through these difficult times?
I'm standing here like, Natty, you better not cry. You better not cry. Thank you, Chu. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that heartfelt message. I really felt every word of that. Thank you. Thank you. Woo. Parents, hit that QR code, text Hacer More, post, invite your friends, invite young people. Oh, this is this is this has to be the best thing that I have been a part of this year. It has been a joy to MC and have fun, and but the bigger picture, the work that Hacer More, the McDonald's scholarship is doing for young people, that's everything. If you could be a small part of something big, to me, that's everything. I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I have a poem. I would like to read it for you, read it to you, perform it, whatever. Imagino lo que podríamos hacer. Imagine what we could do. Imagine what we could make. Imagine reaching higher than ever before. Imagine being the change of generations. Imagine pursuing higher education, making the world a better place. There are so many of us born on this land and beyond, wondering who we could be if just given an opportunity. We are a proud people, a wonderfully made tapestry. We are the American dream. We come from hard working hands, sueños and hope seeds carried in our hearts. We rise and represent so many countries, life experiences, cuentos y canciones, backgrounds, new stories to climb. We create, we weave. We were made for this new wave of change. $1, $2, $3 menu. We are the yellow smile of sunshine, de todos colores, banderas sin fronteras, en las mañanitas, the dawn of an open door. Somos un tejido de amor. Me and you, they and them, we stand on the shoulders of giants. We are the soundtracks of dreamers, ancestors of future. We are making our own way, our own story, one golden arch at a time. We are here, now and alive. I said 1985, Hispanic American commitment to educational resources. A ver lo que, imagino lo que podríamos hacer juntos pa'lante, nunca detrás. The time is now. The time is now, parents. How will you hacer more? I know you do above and beyond, but how will you hacer more? How are we going to get these young people on their way to higher education? Thank you for being here. Please join us in the Q&A session in just a little bit. And now I want to implore you to possibly check your text messages to see if you've won one of those McDonald's Arch cards. Everybody wants to know, who is the big winner? Who is the grand prize winner of the $500 gift card and the McDonald's merch bag? Drum roll. Give me the name, give me the name, give me the name. Carrie from Harbor City, California. You won $500 gift card and a McDonald's merch bag. McDonald's owners and operators, thank you. Jessica, our fabulous ASL interpreter, thank you. Hacer Scholarship, just everybody, thank you. Everybody in front of the camera, behind the camera, parents, don't go anywhere. I'm going to invite Chu back. And Chu, when you come back, can you please tell these parents what's going down November 21st?
Definitely, Natty. Wow, we just gave away $500. I feel good, right? I feel good. Someone just got some money. Good. And in these trying times, every little bit helps, right? This is awesome. Every little bit helps. Parents, at the end of this session, we're going to put a list of everything that we still have going on, right? So on Wednesday, we're going to be doing another session for students. So that session is coming up, and we have another student session coming up in 2 weeks. And then on November 21st, on a Saturday, we're going to have a family day. We want you and your kids to come together. So if you enjoyed the day, come on through. We're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to feel good, and we're going to get tons of resources. We're going to talk about scholarship writing. We're going to have an amazing, you know him, Natty, our homie, Joaquin is going to be joining us and doing scholarship writing. We're going to be doing some really awesome sessions to giving you some strategies on how parents can work together with students to get through this journey specifically during the pandemic. So that is November 21st. We're going to put the list of the times, depending on your East Coast, West Coast, Central. We're going to put that on at the end of the session. So right when we end, you'll have that all up there. So join us. If you've enjoyed it, if you know of a parent like, oh, this was great, come join us again. It'll be a different program. It won't be the same. So it won't be a repeat. We'll be doing a bunch of more resources, different resources, and having a good time. So November 21st is going to be the spot. Right before Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving.
Nice.
Thank you for the poem, Natty. Your poem was always fire.
Thank you. I'm trying to be nosy and look at this chat.
We got some questions. We got a question. What can a parent tell a student that doesn't feel like they can win a scholarship like the Hacer scholarship? What would you tell a student, Natty? You know, they don't think they can win this. Why should they apply?
First, I would say you can't win if you don't try. That's number one. And you made it this far. So there is something within you that is destined for greatness. All you got to do is apply. There are so many scholarships, so many resources, so much money out here. You have to try. And you just don't have to, you can't just do like one. You got to apply for one, another one, but you will get nothing if you do nothing. That's what I got to say.
I always tell people, like, if I'm a knucklehead, so if I got a scholarship, you could definitely get a scholarship. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist. It's just truth, right? But you're going to miss 100% of them if you never even try. You got to try. Right. And we recommend that you do anywhere between 72 to 75 applications so that you can increase the likelihood of you getting that scholarship. But if the family works together, you know, that's the thing that I would say. I would say, you're not in it alone. We will do it with you. We will help you. And that's bold words for a parent to say, right? Because we all busy. But if you really say that, and then you show and prove, it helps. Provides extra added motivation for the students to do it. Thanks. All right, we got Maria. How do I help my daughter take some pressure off the scholarship process? Ooh, and you know what? Let's go even further. How do you take off the pressure of being in school right here, right now with COVID? Like, what would you tell your kid to like relieve the stress, Natty? What would you do?
So you put me on the spot because I have made some mistakes with the pressure that I feel myself. But what I do and I try to get my kids do is to stop, inhale, exhale, and begin again. Now, I was talking about this before, like my daughter, I say, okay, you know, they're not going to open up to you unless you make that space for them. So when my children, my young women, my adults, my teenager comes to me and they have this issue, it's like, okay, do you want me to put my homie hat on or you want to put my mama's hat on? And they'll say homie hat. So that makes me listen better, listen with my heart. So as far as like taking the pressure off, be there. You can be their parent and still be their friend. Listen to them, offer advice if they ask for it, and just let them know that you're there to support them 100% of the way. Don't expect perfection.
No, that's a big one, Natty. And you know what? Don't feel bad. We all make mistakes. This is a whole new world. But that support is everything. I hug the crap out of my kids. I watch their body language, and when they're having a rough day, when they're nervous or when they start doing the little things where a teacher's making them nervous or they fell out of place, very calming. I like give them a hug. I said, "What you got? What you got? What can Daddy do to help you?" Even if it just means I make you laugh, even if it just means, but telling them that it's okay, that they're human, that it's okay to make a mistake, and as long as
Mhm.
you gave it your all, I will always back you up.
Always,
You know,
always.
always. And let them know it's all good and that we're in it together. That we are not. You're not doing this solo. I'm here. And it's a very emotional thing here because for a long time physically I wasn't here. Spiritually I was always with my children, but I can now save my kids and said I'm here and they know it. Daddy's here every day, and I'll be honest, Natty, I don't even know if they're gonna let me leave. When things get back to quote unquote normal, right? Because I'm here and I'm there, and like it was a very weird thing when my daughter looked at my wife, and she's like, "Can I help you?" And she's like, "No, I want Daddy to help me." And
Yeah.
it's a very weird how the roles have switched, but I'm trying, and we all make mistakes. Just gotta learn from them. We can get through. I
Mm.
think that's all the questions we got, Natty. Look,
Oh,
thank you, Natty. Thank you, Natty and Chu. There's a lot of love there. There's a lot of love. Anything you
thank
want
you.
to say to our wonderful people before we leave?
Well, thank you, parents. Thank you, parents. Thank you, parents. It's implied, the love, the appreciation, that everything is implied because I don't want to I'm a parent, and I feel this, I experience that. I thank you, parents.
Yeah. And thank you, Natty. Thank you for spending your time and bringing your light through this virtual space and inspiring our parents. Thank you, Just Montoya, who it got to be tired. You have got to be tired, girl. It's late and she's working those hands hardcore. She rocks it out like no other. On behalf of McDonald's Hacer, on behalf of Cool Speak, on behalf of your children, of my children, of all
Mhm.
children, thank you, parents. Thank you for everything you do, all the sacrifices you make. Gracias por hacer more. We love you. Tell your kids to come to our student session. Tell all your family and friends to come to our family session. Continue to do your best, to do more, hacer more, vivir more, be more, luchar more, apoyar more. Do all of that and know that this will pass because we are stronger than this moment. And together we will overcome and we will succeed. Have a wonderful night. Thank you very much.